Thank you, Chris. Cheers. Good evening, everybody. Great to be here. Love the whole concept of Tuni Talks. It is, in my opinion, the number one thing that people need in the world today is an opportunity to connect with other people. We're on this too often most of the time, but the opportunity to have face-to-face meetings, get connected. I was talking to Adrian about it earlier. The opportunity to have the relationships with people that you can build on, find ways and paths into different journeys in life, I think is critical. And one of the things that we do, we don't talk about it very much, but Movember is about bringing people together as well through the community of people growing mustaches, but also through the different events that we run throughout the course of the day. But certainly bringing people together is something that we believe is important as well. As Curtis said, my name is Pete Bombachi. I've been a Mobro for going on 7 years. I've been running the campaign in Canada for 4 years with an amazing group of people. Our office is over at Adelaide and Spadina. I encourage anybody who's ever in the area, 9th floor, 119 Spadina, come on in. Our space is your space. Movember is every Mobro and Mo Sistas who's ever supported the cause by registering at Movember.com or made a donation or grown a mustache. This is all about, this is a grassroots campaign that really is about supporting the men's health issues that we talk about. On the slide's a picture of 4 guys, and it looks a lot like the guys who started this campaign. How many people know the history? Curtis touched on it a little bit, that it started in Australia. Does anybody in the room know about the history? This is perfect. Absolutely nobody knows the history. This is exactly what we want, which, you know, sounds a little odd, but the reality is it gives us an opportunity to continue to spread the Movember message. This campaign happened probably in a bar, something like this. 2 guys sitting around having a conversation about their friends and trends and different things, and one of the guys owned an agency at the time, things that hadn't come back into style, wanted to do something fun with his buddies. And that night, on the back of a napkin, as many of the greatest ideas in the history of the world have come off the back of a napkin on a bar table, decided that they would challenge their buddies to grow mustaches for 30 days. One of those 2 guys was, his birthday was at the end of the month. They'd celebrate the end of the month and the end of the hairy journey by having what they called the gala party. And, you know, when you flash forward, that first year, there was 30 guys, there was no money raised, and there was no cause. It was because of that first year and the engagement of people that were participating in it and the conversations it created that they actually said, hey, we could do something good here and we could actually put a cause and raise funds. Flash forward to last year, and globally in 21 countries around the world, we raised an incredible $132 million. And I'll hesitate when I say we, because we is not Movember Canada. We is every Mobro and Mo Sistas from coast to coast in this country and in those 21 countries that stood up and said, I want to make a difference in the world. I'm going to either grow a mustache and create conversations, or I'm going to be a Mo Sister. I'm going to register at Movember.com, and I'm going to support the men in my life, whether that's my dad, my brother, my grandfather, or whatever man there is.
A movement is the power of people, inspired by a common passion that is determined for change.
A movement can be sparked by something pretty unlikely. We are Movember.
We shave down on the 1st, and for 30 days raise awareness and funds for men's health by growing mustaches.
We were born over a few beers in a bar in Australia.
We are now in over 21 countries, making us the largest men's health movement in the world.
We are Mo Bros, and we are at our strongest when we stay true to who we are. Real men, growing real mustaches, talking about real issues.
We're a global community standing together, welcoming each and every Mobro and Mo Sistas as a friend and fellow change agent.
We sign up at Movember.com in October and raise funds in Movember for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's mental health problems.
Our mustache is our hairy ribbon, our badge of honor. Grow a mustache this Movember or support those who do. Together we can change the face of men's health.
That gives you a little bit of an overview of what we're all about. Interesting thing, we've been, the first cause that we funded in that first year in Australia was prostate cancer. In year 2, the guys that were the creators of Movember added men's mental health because a couple of their buddies had actually taken their lives. and they thought it was really important to broaden the causes that we fund. But first and foremost, we are always about changing the face on a broader spectrum of men's health, which is getting men to actually accept that it's okay not to be invincible, you know, and a he-man, and that when you do need help, that you actually seek out help. So we broadly support men's health, but we fund prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's mental health. Just to give you a sense, 1 in 8 of us men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in our life. Testicular cancer is the most common cancer in people in their 20s and 30s. In both those cases, highly treatable if caught early. And then mental illness will affect 1 in 5 of us. That's not just the men, that's the women in this room as well, annually. So when you add that up over the course of our lifetime, and whether it's situational anxiety, which we all go through when shit doesn't go the way we want, and then you look at it through a lifetime and you go through, you know, greater diagnoses, whether it's you or it's somebody in your family, extended family, your colleagues, we will all deal with it. And the effects of that, you know, from a business standpoint, from family and turmoil in families is massive. So, you know, being able to raise awareness, and mustaches, creating conversations during the month of Movember is really what Movember is about, because even reducing stigmas, reducing the barriers and allowing people to seek help when they need it, that's a big part of what we do. We are, as I mentioned earlier, we are globally known and locally grown. This is a grassroots campaign, and I'm hoping that after tonight, everybody that's in this room will go over to Movember.com, will register as a Mobro. I know many of the guys from Tuni are in. Curtis told me, Sammy told me, Adrian told me, I think all you guys have actually registered, and you've got a team going. So whether it's joining the Tuni team, whether it's joining a friends and family team, registering and making your mustache or your support count is critical. Men's health is not a fad. We are not disappearing next year. This is not a trend. Mustaches, yes, they've come and gone in fashion, but they are here to stay when it comes to supporting men's health. So I hope everybody will go over, will register at Movember.com and help us change the face of men's health, because it does happen one conversation at a time and one mustache at a time. Here's some numbers just to give you a sense of what we, along with our Mobros and Mo Sistas, have been able to accomplish around the world. You know, in the 12 years since the first campaign in Australia, $574 million, over 4 million Mobros and Mo Sistas around the world have joined the hairy journey each since the start of the campaign. 21 countries, and as a result of the funds raised, because of these, and I say silly, but I get, you know, people get mad at me in my office when I say silly. These are silly. Like, look at me, I'm 4 days into this. I look, you know, I look odd. And we all look odd. And it's during these first few days when all the Mobros come together and we can high five and give each other support, because we all know that we are giving up of ourselves to make a difference in the world. And that's a real powerful message in the world that we're in today, where it has been about me for so long, that this is about actually saying, it's not about me anymore, it's about helping others. And I can tell you, I'm a little older than most everybody in this room, the greatest feeling you will ever have is when you actually do something to help other people. Because you'll never be, in the case of depression, one of the first things they encourage anybody when you're going through mental health issues is actually go out and do volunteer work. Because it's really difficult when you can feel good about helping other people. So come join us on the journey. In Canada, we are, last year we were the #1 campaign globally at $33.9 million at the end of the campaign. Total $151.6 million raised to date this will be our 8th year coming up this year. Over 200 programs in place in Canada right now on those 3 areas: men's mental health, testicular cancer, and prostate cancer. And over 90% of the funds that we've raised to date in Canada have been invested in programs. We pride ourselves on keeping our cost ratios low, because we don't want to spend it on things that aren't finding solutions. And we take a very collaborative approach both in Canada and around the world, that we want to work with the greatest minds. We bring them together. We fund the greatest research through a peer review process. It's actually arm's length for me. I have nothing to do with the allocating of the funds, but I do get to sit in the room and listen to experts talk so passionately about finding solutions for the issues that all these men are facing in whatever cause it is, or just raising awareness to men's health in general. So I think that's all I've got from a formal presentation. This campaign is exciting every year. We do a new campaign. This year's campaign is called Made in Movember. Made in Movember is speaking specifically to growing your mustache in the course of the month, but I think more importantly, it's really talking about what the mustache maketh the man, for the man who actually gives up of his face for 30 days to change and help other people in his community, whether that be his brother, his father, his uncle, his neighbor, his colleague, whatever the case may be. These are millions of people around the world who are stepping up to make a difference, and I think it's a pretty powerful message, and I invite you to come and be a part of the Hairy Journey this year. So thank you very much for having me here tonight. I love the concept, and if anybody has any questions, I don't know if that's the next step, but I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks. Yeah, so my question is, can I find your annual report on your websites?
Yes, you can.
Awesome.
I think I might state that we're the most transparent organization in the charity game. Not only can you find our annual reports on our website, but every program that we've invested in from day one has a report card on our website. So you can find exactly what the progress is, a 6-month update that we give for each one of the programs. So you can find out exactly where the funds have gone and what's the progress that they've made in each of those research projects. But it's a great question. It's something that a lot of people aren't looking into, and it's something everybody should know, what cost ratios people are working on and what is happening with the funds that they're investing in.
Hello, thank you so much for coming tonight. I just had a question. I've seen maybe an increase in the Mo Sistas who've been helping out and supporting Movember.
Yeah, you know, it's Mo Sistas are critical to the success of this campaign. So every year we've focused more and more attention on getting Mo Sistas support. No different. This campaign was inspired by the women's health movement, and really it was about getting men to be a little more proactive and a little more engaged in their own health movement. So women are the gatekeepers to most men's health. Not only in booking appointments, but encouraging us to actually go. And I can tell you right now, it's the 4th of November today. If you go up to every man in this room and tell him he's going to look really good with a mustache, and that you're really attracted to men that are going to stand up and do something to help others, then guess how powerful a Mo Sista can be in this world. And that works at home when you're talking to your boyfriend, your husband, your brother. Mo Sisters are so important to our campaign, and we can't thank you enough for the support we've already received, but we're continuing to work to find ways. We have a program called Move, which is getting men active for 30 days throughout the course of the month. But we also encourage Mo Sistas to be a part of that as well, because in a lot of cases, and I love yoga as one of my things, it's a lot of Mo Sistas that are actually leading yoga classes for Mo Bros. Lululemon's been a great partner for us this year, running events at their stores and external events as well, inspiring. Instead of calling it yoga, they call it moga, or broga. So inspiring men to get out, get them active, and if we can inspire one more man this year to take his health more seriously, take a proactive stance on his health, then we're thrilled, and Mo Sisters are a big part of that. Thank you for the question.